Alright, so we're doing the valve cover gasket on this 2010 Ford Focus SE 2-liter, and that's what you're supposed to see in the hole, and you're not supposed to see that, and you shouldn't see that, and you shouldn't see that. So looks like the middle one and that gasket failed. This one's starting to fail. There's a little pool at the very bottom, so I need to suck out that oil, and then I need to clean off all this debris, and then keep picking around, pulling things to give enough room to pull that valve cover. The coils were, at least the boots were oil soaked except for number one here, so we're gonna give those a good cleaning and stick them back together. I think the coil packs are like 50 bucks on Amazon each, so if they end up working, cool. If not, I'll just slowly start replacing them, and probably should replace them anyway, but we're on a budget, dang it, and we got new gaskets. So let me start peeling this apart. The video I'm following I will link down below. Very informative. It doesn't look too terrible. The only bad thing is that you got a lot of plastic that's gone through a lot of heat cycles, so it's very brittle, so you got to be really careful. So let me keep picking away at this, and I'll bring you guys back when I get close. Alright, it wasn't terrible. Wasn't fun, but it wasn't terrible. You got two of these plastic clips here and here, and then you got two on the back studs, and then one up here. And what I did was took a pair of pliers and kind of got underneath it and then pushed up, and it actually popped these loose, so I didn't actually break any of them. The smaller white ones, I took a little flat bladed screwdriver and kind of eased it in there and then twisted it slightly on either of those tabs, and then it popped up with no problem. So I think I got pretty lucky on that. I didn't disconnect this, mainly because I didn't want to screw with the connector down there. Undid the main fuel line as well, and then didn't totally remove the harness. I only undid that 13mm bolt in the corner, this one right there, which is connected to that bracket. That lifted up mostly out of the way, and then the cover came off. My gaskets were definitely hard as a rock here, so good to be changing those. Spark plugs were not the best, and I don't think I've changed these since we've owned it. I think it's been like 5 or 6 years, but they were stubborn in coming out, so I loosened it, and you heard the crunch of the threads, and then I tightened it and kind of worked it back and forth until they came out. So now we have 4 shiny new spark plugs, all gapped to 51 thousandths. And make sure you clean the adhesive on either corner of the timing chain here and over here, and then you got to make sure all the surfaces are squeaky clean. I took the valve cover and cleaned it really well. I just used some of my carb clean. Got that really nice and clean. I'm going to make sure it's clean. Then I'm going to put 2 dabs of ultra black on either side, like in that video I watched. And then we're going to slip her back over and push her on. And hopefully everything goes together nicely. The main thing that took me the longest, it's about 11 o'clock. I started it at like 9:15. It's just making sure I didn't break any of the plastic, and just kind of take your time pretty much with anything, but that is the gist of it anyway. And I'm kind of happy it didn't do this on the side of the road, because I know from online if it gets that high it can start a fire, and then you ain't putting it out. Oh, I took a little hand pump and I pumped out the oil from the spark plug holes there, and then took a bunch of shop towels with a flat bladed screwdriver and just kind of poked it around and tried to soak up as much of the oil as I could, and then I squirted a little bit of the carb clean in there. I didn't use the straw. I just had this phobia of it falling into the engine, and I didn't want to deal with it, so I just used the nozzle tip there. So that's the gist of it anyway. Let me get the gaskets on here. I'll be using this Velcro gasket. Made in USA, look at that. That's kind of the main reason. The other one I bought, I think it's the same thing, but it's made elsewhere. So I'm going to try to get away with using this one. I think it was like $15-ish, maybe 24, I don't know. But I'm going to pop that off. You enjoying the sun? Yeah. You're a good manager, you know that. Just make sure all these little passages are clear. I know, I'm talking with people. They can't pet you. All right. Mainly the studs stayed in place, except for one right there. And then I just kind of hosed it off with the carb clean. Whoop. Stay. It's kind of sludgy in there. Not terrible. But I'm going to button this up, and then I'll bring you guys back here. Right, boss? That's right. Alright, well, I got her all back together again. A lot easier putting it back on than taking it off. Had some of my ultra black here, and I put 2 dabs, like, I don't know, like this, the amount you put on your toothbrush for your toothpaste on either side of the cover, and then put the cover on. Went around and snugged the bolts just down, not snugly, but down to where they were starting to get tight, and then followed a torque pattern. The link of the video below, he will have the drawing linked in his description, and I think it's 89 inch-pounds you torque them to. So those are all torqued. Put all the clips back together again, cleaned the ignition coils and put them back, so it looks nice and pretty now. Gotta wait probably 12 plus hours for that ultra black to cure, and then once it cures, she'll be ready to run here. So it was 6 or 7 on the, if you have like 0 experience, it's probably more. It took me about 3 hours, but I was going really slow, making sure everything was clean, making sure I didn't break any of the tabs, just taking my time with it. But now I can say it. I worked on a 2010 Ford Focus. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll keep what I used in the description, and let me see. Who is it? Oh, it's Ford Tech Maculo is the one I've been so Ford Tech Maculo. That is the video that I've been watching over and over again. So that is who I have been referencing. He has a good video. That's why I didn't go really in depth with all this. I think he takes off a bit more, but you can get away with a bit less. But anyway, thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.